Rise, balance, and create, family. Welcome back to my channel. I am Natasha, founder of the Holistic Living Project, and in a nutshell, my business is to support individuals experiencing mental health issues and traumas impacting families, communities, and individuals. So June is post-traumatic stress disorder month, and I want to get a little bit deeper into post-traumatic stress. Tonight I will be talking about internalized racism, but I also want to touch on intergenerational traumas and how it continues to impact us. So in a nutshell, trauma is any event or circumstances that leave you feeling very overwhelmed, stressful, and you cannot cope. That can be the loss of a loved one, a relationship, from even being neglected by your parents. It runs deep. I want to read a quote from Resmaa, Menakem, and he's also a therapist like myself. But he wrote a book, and I'm gonna drop the book. I think it's My Grandmother's Hand. Oh, it's so powerful. So I'm just gonna read a quote that he said, and it's so deep, y'all. It's very deep. It said, intergenerational trauma is passed on through the nervous system of our parents and grandparents, but we don't know about the event that caused it. The trauma is ravaging the body. If something's happening to you, if something is happening doesn't make sense, you will either internalize it as something with you, or you disassociate. Then we smoke weed or do something to get away. Very deep. You are not defective. Something happened to you. Something has happened to your people. And that's by Resmaa, Menakem. And he's a therapist, MSW, LSW, all that stuff. So pretty much what I've been known for the past 2 years and been preaching about how these intergenerational trauma continue to impact us, and how what's going on inside of our bodies when trauma is passed down from generation to generation, and how it continues to show up, especially in our behaviors or beliefs and in our DNA. And sometimes you're like, I know better, but why do I keep doing certain things? Because it's in our blood, it's in our DNA, it's in us. So I want to talk about internalized racism, and that's a whole different topic about the stress and cortisol and how that continue to be higher than normal when you experience any type of trauma, and especially people that experience intergenerational trauma. Black people, we have a lot of trauma going on, and they said black don't crack. Black is cracking on the inside. Let me tell you that first. We're cracking on the inside because our body is constantly under stress, not only on an individual level, but on a system level, on every level. And our cells are being impacted, our blood are being impacted, our being being impacted. We all know that COVID-19 happened, is going on, or whatever is going on in the world, right? A pandemic. And who's dying the most? Because our bodies are under stress. 90% of disease is caused by stress. 90%. We are number one when it comes on to many chronic illnesses, because our bodies under stress, and even anticipation of stress our body's under. So I just want to get deeper and talk about, before I go on a whole tangent, I want to go into internalized racism and what that is, because that really impacted me as a woman that I am. Everyone knows, well, you probably don't know, I grew up in Jamaica, and Jamaica is known to be this very proud nation when it comes on to culture and music. But there's a big thing that we don't talk about. We don't talk about the colorism. We don't talk about a lot of things. So I'm just going to tell you how racism, how certain things impacted me growing up. So growing up in Jamaica, right? And you have to look up on things from an individual level, but also on a system level, because our different systems impact us. So schools impact us, the government impact us. People don't live in a little isolated bubble. Everything impact your life. For example, when the unemployment rate is high, it's evidence that shows that domestic violence is high in the household. So everything is interconnected. Everything impact us. So there's a lot of flies out here. So I just want to talk about internalized racism and what that is. And that's pretty much, when racism is happening to a culture of people, I'm going to say what come up for me. When racism is happening to a culture of people, we internalize that there's something is wrong with me, not with the system, not with anything outside of myself, but with me. Something defective in me. Something is wrong with me. We internalize it. We take it in. America is interesting, and a lot of us taking these things, and internalized racism impact a lot of people. A lot of my clients I've worked with, we talked about how certain things impact them, and for a very long time they feel like there's something wrong with them. Like, it impacts your self-esteem, it impacts you, the way you show up in your workplace, it impacts the way you show up in even your relationships. So I'm just going to take my personal stories about how internalized racism impacted me and how that showed up. So growing up in Jamaica, for example, as a little girl, it's just in my DNA that being light-skinned was better. Being white was better. And as a little girl, I couldn't understand what that means, but I wanted to, and I thought I was not enough. And people around me was bleaching them skin. Jamaica is known for the bleaching culture. And for those who know what bleaching is, people that put things on their face, people that put, what is cream, or I don't even know, creams, whether it's soaps, whatever it is, to make your skin lighter than your normal skin tone. That's what it is in a nutshell. Anybody have a better definition, drop in the link. So I want to talk about how that impacted me at a younger age. So growing up in a culture where it says that being lighter was better, guess what I was doing? And I came to America when I was 13. I have that message that light skin was better. Anything was better than my brown skin tone from a very young age. So I used to bleach my skin. I used to use, I think the cream called Nadine Nola, something like that. I used to use cake soap. Us Jamaicans, you know what that is. To make people like, oh, you're going to make your face cooler. But no, that's self-hate. That's self-hate. And again, when you don't have a culture or anybody to teach you what is self-love, you're going to do anything to fit in because you think there's something is wrong with you. And I was doing that when I was like 10. Because that was a culture around me. That was a norm around me, to want to be lighter, to want to be cooler, to want to be everything but what is on the outside. And then coming to America as a teenager, how do I internalize these different when the dominated culture is white, and you go to white, you have a white teacher, a white system, everybody that you get your services from is predominantly white. That also mess with your brains. When you don't see anybody that look like you, there's no culture around you, that impact how you feel about yourself. You feel inferior, and I'm going to say I felt inferior, and that shows up also in the classroom. When I was growing up as a little girl in different classrooms when I was in high school, I didn't speak up because I didn't think my opinion was valued. I can say even in my household, but let's go even deeper. Imagine how our ancestors had to be. There's a lot of flies out here. Had to be when it come on to being colonized. You can't speak up about things. So those intergenerational traumas also play a part in the space that we show up, and we internalize that there's something wrong with us, that we're inferior. I didn't speak up in classrooms. I didn't speak up even when I went to college. I had that same notion that speaking up is bad. I mean, and all my white counterparts, a lot of times they have no problem raising their hands, and they see And a lot of times I was like, oh, but I was thinking the same thing too. But I never have the confidence to be outspoken, to express myself. And I remember the last year in my master's program, I made a promise to myself that, you know what, I'm going to speak up every chance I get in my last 2 classes. And even if my opinion is not right, or what I don't feel it right, I'm still going to speak up. I think the teachers were annoyed by me, because I was speaking up so much. Everything I got an answer. Natasha, I got an answer. And it wasn't even about being right or wrong. It was about proving to myself that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. And when it come on to class, in the workspace, I had a hard time speaking up at times, because I didn't want to come off as the angry black woman. I mean, I was quiet, or I was silent. I didn't think my opinion was valued, was important, or even mattered. And even though I speak up a lot of times I hold back. I go into a lot of spaces dimming my light, and it shows up in relationships. I go into relationships dimming my light, dimming who I really am, because in fear of speaking up, of the repercussion, or fear that I'm not good enough, that I was inferior. And a lot of my brothers and sisters feel the same way. A lot of stereotypes. We self-sabotage ourselves because we grow up in a society that says everything is black is bad. Everything that's black is negative. And we internalize that something's wrong with us. But in reality, it's the system. And I guess we're at a point now where we're seeing that that the system is a problem. But when we say the system is a problem, like, what is the solution? The solution for me is radical self-acceptance and self-love. Man, it's not an overnight process, and not something that I'm gonna get up. Because when you wasn't taught love, when you don't have a blueprint for what love looks like and how to do it, self-love is not like, let me go get a pedicure. Well, for some people that can be go get a pedicure. Well, I don't know how long that's gonna last, because a lot of us are numbing ourselves away with food. I had a recovery. That's how I used to numb my pain. We're numbing away in alcohol. We're numbing away in these toxic relationships. We're numbing away watching TV. We're numbing away on these social media platforms. We're so removed from who we are, because we're not in our natural. We're in a hostile environment. We're so removed from our true nature, true self. So it's gonna be very hard to get back in balance, in sync with the nature of who you truly are. But healing is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. Les Brown said, one of my favorite motivation speaker, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I'm all about talking about a problem, but what about the solutions, Natasha? I'm all about solutions. First thing, I believe in my way of being, and when it comes on to healing, is talking to a professional that know about trauma when it comes down to mental health. You will not go to anybody if your car got broken down, right? Would you go to a doctor if your car got broken down? Would you go to a mechanic if your heart wasn't working? No, you go to a person that's trained in the problem that you're having. And not only go to a person that's trained in the problem that you're having, because it's happening in our brains and our whole body, but someone that have a holistic approach, because trauma impact our whole being, our whole 5 senses, our mind, body, spirit, and soul. And I'm very big on holistic healing, because that's what helped me to fully be in tune with myself and with the true nature of who I am. So first step, I'm not going to give a bunch of steps here. The first step is speak with a professional that has an holistic approach when it comes on to mental health and trauma. And that's it. Start there. And I'm telling you, actually the first step is making a decision that you want to heal, and that the life that you're living right now is not the life you want to continue to live. That's the first step, making a decision. Because before you can't just make a decision and take action. That's the first step. And you know what? Have some compassion for yourself. You don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of blind spots, and this thing is in our DNA. It's in our behaviors. We're entrenched with it. I know one of my master teachers said that he don't have any faith that we can heal because it's so entrenched in us. But when you study that come out, epigenetics, it's proven that with diet and lifestyle changes and support system and a healthy state support system, people can heal from these intergenerational trauma. But it's going to take a lot of work. So first step is getting in tune with a holistic health, mental health person. But we can do it. Have a lot of compassion for yourself and the people around you, because we all out here, especially black people. We all out here, and white people. A lot of people have a lot of traumas they don't even know about, and they are moving from the space of their traumas, not from what's happening in the present moment. Right now, when you're speaking to people, they're probably speaking to some past hurt, some past pain, and that is very, very, very hard, difficult to be when you're not even speaking to somebody about what's happening right now in front of you. Right now, it's 8:45, one at a time. People are so entrenched in their past and their past traumas that they can't even be in a present moment. And I just want to send some love and light. Some love and light, because it's not easy. It's not easy out here to heal from this deep entrenched pain, this entrenched hurt. But I have faith. I have hope that we will heal. But it's going to take being the change that we seek. The change is not going to come from anything outside of ourselves. We got to take the lead in how we want our healing to look. And healing may look different for you, it may look different for me. But what happened is that we must make a decision and start getting in tune with people that have an holistic mind, body, emotional, spiritual, physical approach, community approach, because it's everywhere. So that is my spill. I'm gonna drop the book. This guy really dig deep in the book. I didn't read the book yet, but I just read the cover and the content, the inside thing on Amazon. So, any questions, send me an email. Again, my email is holisticlp@gmail.com. My website is holisticlp.com. And as always, I'm here to be of service, be a lighthouse. Much love and light, peace and love. And I see you. I appreciate you. You are valued and you matter. Ashe.